Hey, good day, everybody. Hey, thank you very much for tuning into my channel today. It is greatly appreciated. If you like my content, I just ask that you please hit like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to me that you would take time to watch one of my videos. Today's video is on the topic of Star Wars. And I just want to say that as you look behind me, you'll see some of the stuff that has been collected over the years. Some of this is my son, some of it's my own. I still have some of the first generation Star Wars toys and action figures in a box in the garage, along with my first generation Transformers. But you could say that I was a really big fan of Star Wars, particularly of the original Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Was definitely not a fan of the Phantom Menace, and I thought Lucas somewhat redeemed himself a little bit more with the second and third episode of that series that he did. And then along comes, after many years, another episode, Star Wars. I don't remember the title. It was episode 7, related with the First Order. I thought that one was all right. I liked some of the effects of the movie. I kind of felt like the movie of old, of the first one, like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back. And not as much of the animation feel that was in 1, 2, and 3. So there were aspects to the movie that I did like, and then there was so much of that movie that I did not like at all. I really felt like it was getting into the political leftist agenda that is just plaguing our society and around the world today, with some feminist aspects to the movie, like the main character and the captain or something of the stormtroopers dressed in silver. Don't even remember her name. But there were just things that took place with that character and with Finn that were just completely unrealistic. And, I could rip that movie apart slowly, but I'm not. I'm just going to leave it at that. There were aspects that I did not like with what I would consider the rise of feminism that was taking place in Star Wars. And then we get hit full-faced with it, with the feminist aspect in the second one of that series, The Last Jedi. And I must admit that movie was absolutely awful. It was horrendous. It was all about beating down the man to lift up the women. That the women are the saviors and what the men do is just stupid. And they really brought that out in a very bad way. And, I'm not one that is for the beating down of women, nor am I for the beating down of men. Let's present men and women as we see them around the world. Women can be strong. Women can definitely be in leadership roles. We see that in our own society. So why do we have to rip apart the male in order to make the female look good? To make the females look bigger and better and greater. The savior of the universe, if you will, in this case. And, so I was highly disappointed with the movie. I thought it was the absolute worst movie I saw of that particular year. And, and then along comes some movies out of Marvel, and you start seeing some leftist agenda being put in there. And it's very irritating to me that with Disney taking over these franchises, we are getting this political garbage shoved down our throat in our characters that we've seen for years. In some cases, characters that we might have idolized, so to speak, of our childhood. It's just frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating to see that the leftist social justice warrior agenda is now plaguing our movies and films. And so I was seriously debating on whether or not I was going to go see the Rise of Skywalker, that is either in the theaters now or is soon to be released. I haven't really been paying attention to the date because I've been horrendously disappointed with The Last Jedi that was enough to make me not see the next one. I think they called Solo. And then there were aspects in that Solo movie that I'm glad I didn't go to watch, because it's just ridiculous what they've done to these characters of my childhood. So now let's look at this one coming up, this Rise of Skywalker. And I must say, I'm extremely irritated and agitated at an interview of Oscar Isaacs and J.J. Abrams, the director of the new movie. And what this is about was this push, I guess, of the community worldwide of Finn and Poe Dameron being gay, homosexual, maybe developing that relationship and whatnot. And so Oscar Isaac speaks to that, and he says, personally, I kind of hope and wish that maybe that would have been taken further in the other films, but I don't have control, Isaac said. It seems like a natural progression, but sadly enough, it's a time when people are too afraid. I think of, I don't know what, but if they would have been boyfriend, that would have been fun. Well, let me just state one thing. Yeah, Poe and Dameron, definitely you can see in the movies, they're friends. So, in that effect, they're boyfriend. But from a sexual, romantic aspect, taking those characters into homosexuality would be fun? No, I call it sick. I call it disgusting. And I am so fed up with this LGBTQRST plaguing our TV shows and our characters, that it's being pushed as natural when it's not. It's sick. It's gross. It's against standards of morality. And so we're wanting to change the morals of our society that have been for so long and pervert them with this ideology. And it's sick to hear that a guy who once played Joseph in the movie The Nativity would make this statement. And just, to me, this really goes to show you his character. Or he's stating this to try and not be black flagged in Hollywood like so many other conservatives and Christians have done over the years, who have been, should we say, ostracized from getting roles in movies in Hollywood. Like Kevin Sorbo, for instance. Great guy. I've loved his work, and yet, where is he? You don't see him much. He shows up in a few Christian movies, but he's not producing, even though he made these people in Hollywood a lot of money with the shows he did, like Andromeda and Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. And so, what do we get with Star Wars? Well, we get J.J. Abrams making a comment that although Poe and Finn's characters aren't romantically involved, they're a little bit more in depth in their character. He does go on to state, in the case of the LGBT community, it was important to me that people who go to see this movie feel like they're being represented in the film. So in other words, he's hinting that there's going to be some gay character show up in the movie. I'm flabbergasted. So for me, I'm drawing the line. This movie I won't see. It's going to be the first Star Wars movie in the history of Star Wars movies, next to Solo, that I will not see. So I am not going to see the end of how they're doing this 3-part series. Disappointed in the first, but was okay. Extremely disappointed in the second one, The Last Jedi. And now I'm so horrendously disappointed in hearing these comments and reading the commentary from these people who acted in the movie that I'm not going to see this film. And I won't be taking my family to see this film. I wasted close to $60-ish when I took my family to go see The Last Jedi. And those of us that saw it, of my family, were all disappointed when we walked out. From my youngest to my oldest. They did not like the way the movie was making the men look stupid and destroying the men to raise up the women, so to speak. And they were disappointed in the film, just as I was. So this film is not going to be on my list to go see. I will save my money, keep it to myself, and say sayonara to Hollywood over this movie. I'm flabbergasted. But can I make that change? No. The only way I can make that change, and the only way we can make that change if we don't like this stuff entering our movies in Hollywood, is for those of us to stop seeing the movie. And so in a way, this is a pitch for those who hold a Judeo-Christian value and that do see homosexuality as being wrong and being not natural. It's a call for them to stand up and say, no, I am not going to give Hollywood my dime on this. I'm not going to give them my money. In spite of the fact that I might be a Star Wars fan and really want to go see this film, I'm not gonna, based off of them deciding to put a homosexual, gay, lesbian, transgender, who knows what they're going to do in this movie. So there you have it. There's my thoughts for the day. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this. It really does mean a lot to me. And please hit like and subscribe if you would. I'll post that up in this corner up here. Hit the subscribe button and have a wonderful day. Have a Merry Christmas. God bless. Take care. Hey, I thought I would mention that the information and the quotation I gave came from an article in the internet from IndieWire written by a guy by the name of Zach Sharf. So that's where I'm getting the quote from, and I'll leave a link below on where you can find it. So thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.